Hey everyone, this is going to be your daily reading for February 1st. Happy first day of spring. First, let me say I'm so sorry I didn't get a video out yesterday. This week there's been a lot of things going on and I kind of knew it, and I kind of thought I could handle it all, and yesterday just kind of got away from me. Actually, the past probably 2-3 days kind of got away from me. So sorry. Thank you guys for hanging in and being patient. Um, I just wanted to throw that out there. I didn't forget about you guys. I just all the different responsibilities and things to do and all that kind of stuff just kind of slowed me down a bit. But we're back on schedule, so here is today's reading. With that said, I'm going to start off with our aspects. We don't have too many today. Um, we have two kind of big ones that I want to talk about. One happened actually yesterday. I'm just talking about it because it relates to the one we have today, and it's actually something new I learned. So I'm like I said, I have a basic astrological knowledge when it comes to symbols and things. But when I was looking up aspects for today, and actually just for fun, I looked up yesterday to see if there was anything I wanted to talk about. There was the same symbol yesterday and today, and I hadn't seen it before, at least not in how it was being used. And it didn't make sense to me, so I had to look it up, and I found out something very interesting. Some of you guys that know astrology may be like, well, duh, that's a thing. But I thought it was actually kind of cool. So the moon made, I'm probably going to butcher this name. I'm assuming it's called an occultation, I don't know. But essentially, it's an eclipse. An occultation is just when one celestial body moves in front of another. So like when a planet goes in front of another planet, or in front of a star, or whatever, and gets between the viewer, which would be us, and that other planet. So it's the same thing that happens to an eclipse, or during an eclipse. The moon passes between us and the sun. Essentially, yesterday we had one between the moon and Venus, and then today, later this evening, I think in Hawaii time I want to say it's like just before 9 o'clock, something like that, p.m. So it's later on in the evening. Um, Pacific Standard Time, it's 10 something, I think. Um, but essentially, it is an eclipse. So expect like a blotting out, a reset. The moon, so our feelings, our emotional self, is kind of getting in the way and kind of blocking out whatever that other planet is trying to teach us, or has influence over. So yesterday's with Venus, I would say if you really wanted to look into it, I would find where Venus is in your natal chart and kind of look at that area, because that particular group is probably, or that particular house, whatever house your Venus is probably the one that's going to feel it the most and get that reset. Tonight, the moon is having another, eclipse with Saturn, which Saturn is our taskmaster planet. So sometimes it's kind of nice when Saturn gets an eclipse because you get to breathe a little bit. You kind of like take a break from that like intense Saturnian energy, and you kind of get to like, before it all kicks up again. But it is a nice reset. One that I know I desperately would love to enjoy, so I'm kind of excited for it. And it's interesting knowing where Saturn is in my chart. So I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't mind a reset there. That'd be great. That would help me out a lot. Really would. Um, but kind of exciting. So again, I would look up your natal chart, kind of see where those two planets are, Venus for yesterday, Saturn for today, and kind of see where you may see that kind of emotional blacking out, and then kind of resetting. The reason I wanted to talk about that specifically, we have another aspect today. So I told you there was two. So we have this blotting out of Saturn, which kind of takes off that really hard, practical, get it done, go do kind of energy, that achieving, let me tick this off the list type of situation. There's a sextile to Neptune earlier in the day, which is kind of nice because you get this boost to your intuition, to your imagination, that idealistic self. So it kind of gives you, it helps to give you the vision of what could be. And then you kind of get this blackout with Saturn, so you kind of can really embrace that and really feel it without that like practical side of you being like, okay, but how do we make that happen? Is that realistic? Does that really, it kind of tunes that out for a bit so you can enjoy the fantasy and really visualize and see it. And then once that practical side comes in, hopefully we've got a solid vision of it, and then we can use that practical side to, okay, now I felt this, I know this is something that I really want, I'm really attracted to this. How do I make this happen? Versus, going the other way around, and, that real practical Saturn is like, no, that's crazy. Don't even, I don't got time for that. We got some things to do. We're gonna side note that for a bit. It kind of lets that have its moment to shine, in a way. And I wanted to bring those up in particularly because this is our rune for today, Nadis, which we've had before. Again, we keep kind of going through a few of the same ones. This really has to speak to our needs. And when I pulled it out, we technically got the reverse side, we got the blank side. But honestly, I feel, especially with this, eclipse happening, I think this could manifest multiple ways. So I'm kind of giving you the most vague, kind of loose interpretation of the rune, and you apply it how you will. I just want to keep it open. But really, fundamentally, it's about our needs. So, on simplest terms, are our needs being met? Are we doing what we're passionate about, what fulfills us, what we're, really connected to and motivated to drive? Or have we been handing over our needs or putting our needs on the side to help someone else? Or are we sacrificing what serves us to try and achieve someone else's goal? And I say this in a way that's just kind of draining, like it's just output versus input. So that all could be wrapped up. It kind of depends what side of the rune you're on, right? But big focus on our needs. And again, when we get this nice aspect to Neptune that lets us really visualize and kind of see what our needs are, then you can go from there. It is the first day of spring in Chinese New Year, so part of my mission this week was to get all my feng shui remedies ready, and then today being the first day of spring, I'm gonna take the time to move everything around and clean and make it all cute. Actual Chinese New Year is on the 5th. So if you live in Hawaii or somewhere where you celebrate Chinese New Year, getting ready for that, super excited. Probably going to go down to Chinatown with some of my friends, and we'll have a good time there. But just some little heads up for y'all. Since we had some astrological moments, I pulled our Black Moon Astrology deck today. We'll pull a couple cards from here. But yeah, I'd never seen the word occultation. I don't know. I'll have to look up that word phonetically. So I just keep calling it eclipses. But yeah, I'd never seen that word before. I'll take a couple. That was the randomest cut I ever made. Just made 4 little piles, but you know what? It worked. Oh, okay. Sweet. Oh, got a lot of communication things going on, my friends. So, first card out, Mercury Retrograde. I've never pulled this deck, or this card out of this deck, in all the times I've used it. Never actually pulled this card. So Mercury Retrograde, reinvention, second house, house of possessions, earnings, owning, income. Then we got Cancer, I feel. Makes perfect sense with all these moon aspects we'll be making. And then Mercury again, so planet of the mind. I'm almost surprised that second house wasn't third house. Just got a whole bunch of Mercury going on in here. So, what do we have going on? So we have 2 signs, Mercury and Cancer. So Cancer, nurturing, feelings, emotions. And then, what did I say? Cancer. That's what I meant. Cancer, so sign of feeling, emotions, nurturing. And then Mercury, which is the planet of the mind, that's thought, communication. But we have this Mercury retrograde. So not only do we have strong Mercury energy, we're also getting in retrograde. And to me, this is kind of how I was talking about the rune. Like, you're going to be on one side or the other. I mean, here you again, you're going to be on one side or the other. Communication is going to be, you know, tricky or conflicting or confusing, or it's, you know, going to be really strong and clear. I know that's kind of vague, but you're going to end up, or kind of open, like you're obviously you're going to be one or the other, but it's because we're going to be kind of cut in half. Some of us are going to be doing really well, like the reset we got from Venus, I want to say, is going to help a lot. And it may even depend where, what would I say, where your Venus is. Like, say your Venus is in Gemini, you know, you may get a little better with this Mercury energy because you had a reset in this sign, so you've already kind of blotted it out, and now you can kind of move forward through it. Versus someone who didn't have that kind of help earlier, maybe you're going through that reset now, you know, because of that Saturn energy. So it's kind of blotting it out. Just kind of depends. It all depends. For all we know, you may have one of those planets in your second house, which is why it's getting affected. And again, this is the house of earning, income, you know, especially value a lot, how you see your own value, where you find value, how you earn your money, what you do for work. All of that is kind of encompassed in the second house. So that could definitely be getting a, you know, nice big focus. And honestly, I think it's going to be about what really is making you feel good, what's making you feel secure. Security could definitely be a big issue right now. Financial security, emotional security, just stability in general. So maybe what you're doing now maybe has given you security or has felt stable on one level. Like maybe financially, because we're talking about the second house, maybe financially it was perfectly fine. It paid the bills. It, you know, kept the roof over your head, kept your belly full, you know. But then you kind of compare it against this sign of Cancer, which is all about the feelings. Maybe it doesn't feel good there anymore. Maybe it did once. Maybe it never did. Who knows? But I think now that is starting to come into play. You know, I get that this job lets me afford this lifestyle and, you know, enjoy the things that I have, but I don't feel good. Either I wish I could be doing something else, wishing I could be putting my energy into something else, wishing, you know, maybe I want to be a stay-at-home parent. You know, maybe I have kids and they're growing up too fast and I'm missing out and I don't want to be here anymore. I want to be somewhere that lets me work from home. Again, because Cancer rules the fourth house, which is all about home and family. You could even be, you know, maybe the environment has changed at work and maybe it's not super comfortable anymore and you just don't want to go to work because of that. You know, maybe there's some type of situation or some drama, whether you're involved in it or not, but it's affecting you on, you know, some level and it's not a good thing for you. That could totally be a thing as well. So with all this Mercury energy, I think you're really going to be thinking about and possibly speaking about, well, actually no, I'm going to say thinking, especially with this retrograde, because during a retrograde you never want to make decisions. You know, you kind of want to ride things out, wait till everything kind of goes forward again. So your mind might be super active with all these thoughts, but not necessarily communicating them because of that retrograde. We're looking over things, we're reevaluating things and kind of deciding, okay, how do I change this up? What's the best way to do this? I don't know, but I know this isn't the answer, so I need to do something else. I think a lot of that is going to be going on really at work. So however you're earning your income, your working situation, I think is going to be under a lot of scrutiny. And it's really going to be based on this, like how you feel about it. How stable does it feel? How satisfied are you with that position? I think that's going to be a major, major thing. And you think about the planets we just had aspected. So we had Venus yesterday, which is all about beauty, art, you know, romance. It's a planet that rules Taurus, which is the sign about comfort. They're all about comfort and luxury. And then today with Saturn's, again, your achiever. You know, so both of those are getting a reset, and I think it allows this opportunity for you just to look at it and be like, all right, how do I feel about this? Because I haven't been happy in this situation for a while. What do I do now? What can I do now? What should I do now? What do I want to do now? You know, I think this is your moment to get that really clear vision, if I can put it that way. I love when I get new things to talk about in these videos. So like this, you know, new aspect. sometimes I go into it and be like, I don't really know what this is. We're just going to talk it out. And as I just talk, somehow the words just come to my mouth. And I'm like, oh, fun stuff. All right. I wasn't even going to shuffle you like that, but okay, we'll take it. Oh, look at that. Were we not just talking about emotional contentment? And look, here's the Nine of Cups. So it's the funniest thing. I've been noticing the past couple readings, I always feel like the first card out has been like the outcome card. Like this is, like we keep getting the like finish line. Like this is where we're trying to get to. And then the cards that follow are how do we get there. But I feel like we keep starting with the outcome card. But Nine of Cups, so yes, focusing on that emotional security. Where do we feel good? How do we, okay. You know what, we're going to take those. Wasn't at first, but we're going to. But, oh! Yeah, we're taking them. Alright, so, first card out. The Tower. Our best friend. Don't we love the Tower? And again, it makes perfect sense. We've just had 2 planetary eclipses. What is the Tower? Tower is an ending. It's a destruction. Eclipses, they're a reset. They're a blotting out. It makes perfect sense. We're getting this reset. So, a lot of times eclipses also signal endings. So I would definitely say look to where your Venus and look to where your Saturn is, or are, sorry, in your natal chart. Those 2 areas, I would bet good money that there's some type of reset coming to those areas if you haven't already started to kind of feel it, or at least with all this Mercury in it, at least be thinking about it. You know, Venus being the planet of love, that could totally be, maybe it could be relationships, maybe that need to be ending, and not necessarily romantic. It could be friendships, partnerships, business relationships, just any relationship maybe is going through a moment where it needs to be reevaluated. Maybe, you know, it's not the best person to have around, or maybe we just don't have the time for it, you know, whatever it is, there could be an ending there. You know, Saturn deals with systems, routines, so there may be a change happening wherever Saturn is in your chart as well. So just something to keep in mind. But with this Tower energy, definite ending coming. Definite ending. And it may be painful, because again, a lot of times the Tower, it's something we've held on to for quite a while. It's something we've clung to, thinking we needed it or thinking we wanted it. But here, the Tower card, the Tower card is always destroying things that shouldn't have been ours. You know, it's something that either was built up incorrectly or doesn't really belong in our narrative, and it's taking it away so we can move forward. So again, you're not losing anything that, you know, was meant to stick around, essentially. So if you notice something starting to fall apart, it may be the time just to let it. Like, don't cling too tightly. Then we got the Prince of Cups. The Knight of Cups has been showing up quite a bit in the past couple readings. I believe we got the Knight of Cups, no, obviously not yesterday, but the day before. If it wasn't the daily reading, one of the February videos got it. But Knight of Cups, so this could be new love coming in. This could even be an apology. But someone's coming in with an offer of some sort, and it's going to be an emotional offer. So it definitely could be a new suitor. And then we have the Four of Wands right after that. Four of Wands is foundation, stability. You know, if you're a twin flame, there's been a lot. I feel like the past couple weeks, I've heard a lot of twin flame. Like, that word has been popping up a lot. Like, both on YouTube and just both in, you know, in my reality as I walk around. That word has been popping up a lot. And this is one of the cards that symbolizes a union. So definitely could be a suitor coming in. If you have a twin flame, could be coming in as well. And then look, Eight of Wands, haste and communication. We were talking about communication as well. So this person may definitely be coming in, you know, I want to almost say like coming in real hot. Like they're coming in really action oriented and, you know, I don't want to say committed, but at least committed to the idea of doing this. Like they're here for a purpose. I have to say something. I need to get this off my chest. This is something I've been wanting to tell you. And you know, it's just throwing it out. This Tower is essentially making way for this person. Almost think of this Tower as kind of like the gate. This has been a barrier. Like this Tower was built around you, and it kept this prince from getting in. It kept this prince from getting to you. So now that this tower is crumbling and falling down, he can finally get through to deliver this message, because he's been trying to give it to you for a long, long time. And then we have another prince here, so Prince of Swords. I don't see this as another person. I think this is the same person, but this is that real action-oriented energy that this particular suit, the suit of Swords, really kind of controls. It's a very action-oriented suit, like the suit of Wands. But both of them, they want to get something done. Just makes me think even more so, because again, Swords is the element of air. So again, that's more communication, that's more speech. This person is coming in with a message, and I want to say it's a message they've probably been carrying for a bit, and maybe couldn't say it, didn't know how to say it, or maybe weren't confident. That could be a thing, and they were like, oh, I don't know, if I tell her that might fire back on me, or backfire on me, fire back on me. There was some hesitation, and now maybe I almost want to say it feels like they're out of time. You know, like, oh, I've stalled long enough. Like, I need to do this. Like, I can't hold it anymore. Like, it's almost like they're about to burst. Like how, like, this wand looks like it's like shooting this like laser beam to the sky. Like, I feel like it's like that's what's inside of them. Like, they've been charging up for all this time. Finally, they're like, no, I need to let this go. I almost wonder, maybe that's the laser that burns the tower. Like, maybe they do it. They're like, I'm breaking down this barrier. I'm getting inside finally. Oh, we're gonna take that. That was a lot. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take it. We're gonna talk about you after, because you came second. Nice, okay. This will be interesting. I'm excited to see where this goes. So first card out, Seven of Cups. Normally I talk about that as options. Honestly, I'm going to say it today, of all days, I'm going to say that's confusion, not necessarily options. Because I honestly, with this Tower card, I believe the false options are being taken away. So it's not that there's options. Maybe there won't be very soon. So I think ideally, because you can even see in the way this card is depicted, like, there are still the Seven Cups, but you notice pretty much all of them are in the back except for this one. This one is still in front of you. To me, this is that Tower energy taking away all the false options, leaving you with the one. I almost wonder if the one that's left isn't the one you expected. Maybe it's the one that you had the least connection to, or the least, like, please, like, no, and I'm not doing that. And then the universe was like, really? Look, now it's all you got left. Take it. Like, so I think this card is really more confusion now, because I think things are really shifting with these eclipses and with this Tower card. Like, after the walls get torn down, you're kind of standing there like, oh, what? But I don't know, what's left? Like, you're just kind of stunned by it all. And then you have the Nine of Pentacles. Possibly a little contradicting thought. Here I am saying you're going to be confused and bumbling around, yet you got the Nine of Pentacles. Again, this makes me think about what I was talking about, how the Tower never destroys anything that you were meant to have. Everything you built, everything you earned, everything you are is still intact. That hasn't changed. All of it is still intact. What was torn down was all the blur surrounding you, all the minutia, all the, like, blocks, all of that is what was destroyed, leaving you with truly what you own, if that makes sense. Eight of Cups, we already talked about it, walking away. So once it's destroyed, let it go. Do not cling to it. Okay. I wasn't going to say anything. Bottom of the deck right now is the Prince of Wands. Yep. Next card out is the Prince of Pentacles. So literally all four princes have decided to show up in this reading. So definitely someone coming in. And honestly, definitely someone really, really action-oriented. Because to me, all the princes have that kind of suit of air in them, just being a prince. princes are the chasers, the seekers. They want to know more, they want to learn more, they want to, you know, slay the dragon, defeat the beast, save the kingdom. Like, they're out there adventuring. So definitely someone coming in, or coming into the picture, really wanting to do something, get something done. Like, I almost wonder if that's why all of them came up, because I almost want to say this person has been holding on to it for a very long time. Like, this has been some type of message that's just been rolling around in there, and they didn't know what to do with it. Look at that. So, we have the Ace of Wands followed by the Three of Swords. So this is action, motivation, desire, passion, coming out of heartbreak. If this is a romantic situation, and I say if, because again, this can manifest differently for a lot of people. If this is a romantic situation, this person, whoever is coming in, this prince, I'm just going to call him the prince, because he's being personified by 4 of them. But this prince, I want to say, was in a relationship previously, and it ended. It either ended badly, or his partner treated him badly, because he's been going through this Three of Swords, which has just made him feel less than, sad, heartbroken. You know, and if he was in a relationship, I don't think he's not the kind to, like, well, I'm just going to go cheat on you and start it somewhere else. So he was just really torn and hurt. Now I think that's changing, and he's carrying this wand, he's carrying this torch, and it's burning for you. You know, so I want to say, when I say this, some of you may know who this person is. I want to say there's a chunk of you, I almost want to say there's a bigger chunk of you out there who don't know who this person is. Because he hasn't said anything, he hasn't made anything known, because he's been dealing with this Three of Swords. He's been dealing with this hurt. And like, even looking at the card, this figure down in the bottom is really making me think of the, why can't I think of it? The Five of Pentacles. Because, you know, it's solitary, you know, alone, cast out. Like, he was definitely dealing with a lot of emotional hurt. And I want to say, if this toxic relationship that he was in, if it hasn't ended yet, this is how he was really made to feel. Even though he was in a relationship, he was very lonely. And when I say he, again, this isn't replying or applying to the person's gender. It could totally be a female. I'm just using he because it just happens to be princes and it's a boy in the card. But he was made to feel very lonely, even if he was in a relationship. And I almost want to say, it's almost like a light bulb goes off. You know, and even looking at the card, there's kind of like this hole in the wall. Now there's like a light bulb inside. So it's kind of like he reached the bottom. Like, I almost want to say he had like his Ten of Swords moment, and he's really like, I am not doing this anymore. And now he's carrying this just raging torch now. You know, I'm not going to do this anymore. I am not going to play this game. And I think he's heading straight to you. And again, because I talked about this is your energy, the Nine of Pentacles. Once we come out of this Tower card, you know, all that's left is what we were meant to have. So we are shining brighter than ever. And you know, we happen to vibe and match this exact same light. So he's just drawn to it. Ooh, gives me like chingles. I meant to say chills and tingles, and it came out chingles. That'll be our new hashtag for today. You know, and then just as a reminder, that Nine of Cups, emotional security, emotional contentment, happiness. So we're over here sitting with 2 9s, even though we're going through this Tower moment. Again, we still feel good, because now we really can see who we truly are, what we've truly built, and what we've truly earned. Because none of it got touched. None of it got burned. No fire even scorched like the end of a tassel. Like, everything's fine. So we're still standing there like, nope, everything that was mine is still mine. Nothing to worry about. As long as whatever burns, you let it go, because you didn't need it. And then we become this nice, lovely match for all I know, you have 4 princes coming to you. I mean, more power to you, babe. Like, go for it. but definitely someone coming in and coming in like committed to giving you this message, whatever it is. Very, very committed. Just taking a peek at the bottom of the deck. No major surprises. Now we're good. We're good. We're just gonna take a chunk of them. Why not? Just flip through them. So Two of Pentacles, the choice needing to be made. I'm going a little longer because you didn't get one yesterday, so you're getting a little extra, right? Two of Pentacles, so choice needing to be made. What do I let go? What do I hold on to? Princess of Swords, little rebel energy here. Maybe inventing a new path, doing things a bit differently, embracing some change. Look at this, Ten of Pentacles, commitment, abundance. This guy's coming in, he's coming in to stay. Got the Chariot card, so this could be a Cancer coming in. Who knows? We did get the Cancer card earlier when we did Black Moon. So could definitely be a Cancer sign coming. Cancer is also forward progression, it's movement, security. We've been talking about it a lot. Princess of Cups, new beginning. This could be a bit of an intuitive moment for you. Could definitely be feeling it. And then we also have the Emperor card. So this is Aries, so it could also be a fire sign. Oh, very exciting. I would say the time for this is coming very, very close.